Hello and welcome to the 6th episode of the Great British Design Podcast. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Great British Design Podcast. I hope everyone is well. I hope everyone is coping in COVID times. We are back and we're going to do the usual. We'll start with what people are doing. So I'll choose Nick to go first. What have you been up to this week?
It's a close one. Well, I've been good. This week's been pretty good, actually, in comparison to last week. I think I've got over my hump. Still not been the most productive week ever, but I've been working on my portfolio and that's coming along very slowly. I feel like I take a break from my portfolio, give it a week, and then I look at it again. I'm like, oh, this is just awful. Let's start again. And then that's kind of rinse and repeat for like 5 months now.
Yeah, but it's getting better every time though, right? That's the whole thing,
definitely.
Right?
Yeah. I also think that I'm on Behance trying to get inspiration, but then everyone's portfolio almost looks the same on Behance. Like they're very nice, don't get me wrong, but they all kind of look the same. So I'm trying to put my own spin on it and trying to think like how I differentiate from how I'm different to people, and that's kind of the hard bit.
Yeah,
but
you're telling me.
Yeah, but to start with, I'm kind of just creating a normal template, and then I'm going to go back and just try and add my own spin on it. But that's been good, and obviously the weather, guys. The weather's been insane.
Oh, it's glorious.
It's been nice. It's been nice.
Yeah.
Spring is coming.
Although this will be released next week, and it could well be snowing.
Could go back.
It could be snowing. Yeah, exactly.
That may not have aged very well. Did it?
End of Feb. Weather amazing. There we go.
The week buffer stitched us up.
Yeah.
And I mean, I live in a fairly rural area, right? Nice walks along the river and that, and there's hundreds of people there. I think Exeter's quite a student city, and all of the students were just they were all over the quay. They had a nightclub going on. There's a guy with a massive speaker, and everyone's drinking, and the police are driving around, but they're not stopping anybody. So it's really weird, but
Well, they're fed up.
But it was quite nice though.
Yeah, I think everyone's fed up now.
No one cares anymore, do they?
That's it though. I mean, there isn't many places open, so places like that, and the beach near me, is absolutely rammed.
The woods near me.
It's the only place you can go.
On the quay by me, there's 3 of the main cafes open, and they're all selling really nice smoothies, coffees, and food and everything. So that's I guess that's why they're probably getting into loads of business, which is good for them.
Yeah.
But it's been really nice. Just lots of walking. I think Saturday I walked 30,000 steps, and then I woke up and went for another long walk Sunday, and then I just got back from a walk now. So it's been really good. So,
smashed it.
Yeah.
Nice, man.
Glorious.
Yeah.
And
lovely.
Andy?
It's me. So, I've actually been listening to the last 2 podcasts, and I've been talking about my website in the last 2. But the homepage is done.
Oh, it's changed. Yes.
It's finally done. It's actually really funny because I was thinking about what to talk about in this one. I was like, let's just talk about my website. And then in the last one that I listened to today, and it's my website's going well, so my website's going pretty well.
Good.
It's just basically the homepage. The Squarespace templates aren't what I want. And I've been trying so many different things, and then I ended up just making my own buttons on Facebook. What the hell? No, I make my own.
Impressive.
Pretty good. I make my own buttons on Photoshop. Completely different situation.
You were nearly there.
So I've done that, so I can make them what I like. The only issue is how it's really strange because on Squarespace, when you have a page as a portfolio page and you hover over it, it's clear and it just shows the text of whatever the portfolio page is. And that's exactly what I wanted for my homepage. But when you do it on an image, the only way you can get it is a black caption highlight that that comes up and covers the whole image, and only makes half the image clickable, like to the link.
So
and
weird.
I have no idea why. I've tried everything, but it looks good up until you hover over it. But
That's good.
I
That's
mean,
good.
that I've done the best with the tools that I have.
Exactly.
I've been having a struggle with the website when I was working on mine. There's like a few things that I really want with my website, and I just can't do it, especially to do with the portfolio pages. I may have mentioned this previously, that I'd really like to separate the portfolio between my like professional work and my like free time personal projects. And there's no way to like split up a portfolio in Squarespace. I just don't know what to do. It's really annoying. So
It's really weird,
I might
though.
email
Don't
them.
like-
There might be some like code that they can
Maybe
inject
that's
to
a
it
good
and
idea.
stuff. But
Maybe that's a good idea. We can both say what we want, and it just seems weird that it's pretty inconsistent.
when I do a nick and go back to it in a few months, I'll give it a go. Yeah.
I think
I've
mine's pretty set
redesigned
right now.
my website like 4 times now over the past like year,
Yeah.
and then the 3 ones that I've done never made it. I'm still stuck to the first one. I'm so like, it's fine. I need to improve it,
Yeah.
and then I go to improve it, and they're like, oh, actually, the first one's not that bad. Like, it's simple. It's fine. And I always get back to it. It's the weird spiral of like web design, I guess.
Yeah. Nah, it's a learning curve. It's hard to make a website that you like.
Then my other
Definitely.
thing that I've been up to this week is, so I did a sketch of a ray gun water gun idea, and I just thought
Oh.
that's me that has to write that down. Yes, I just thought, screw it, let's just make it. Yeah. So I've been kind of looking into what water guns are out there, and it was exactly what I thought. They're either super soakers or bust. Yeah. So you can either get the big hefty ones, which you like squirt you get the pressure going and it goes really far, or you get one that has a weak stream. So my question to both of you is, what do you think I should do? Do you think I should do the easy one of the weak stream and cop out so it's really easy, or make a cool one that
You've
shoots really
answered
far?
that question. That was a leading question if ever I've heard
Yeah,
one.
agreed.
But it's going to be so much harder.
You're definitely
Well,
going for the weak
that's-
stream, right?
Wait a minute. No, I think if there's a choice between the hard and the easy one, always try and go for the hard one.
Yeah,
You'll
I
learn
mean,
a lot more from it.
it will be better effect. It just might not look as good, but we'll have to.
No. Your job is to make it look as good and be better effect.
Okay,
That's
okay.
that's your job now.
Well, that's it.
Exactly.
That's something that I've kind of started looking at, doing some research. I'm going to buy one and
Quite a
take
cool
it apart.
project.
Yeah, I just thought if I started now, I'd be ready for summer, right?
Yeah, next year.
Then for next year,
Yeah,
yeah.
smashed it.
Then when we meet up,
When you're allowed outside, you'll be
Shoot
able to
with it.
blast us. It's fine. Yeah. Perfect.
That'd be good.
yeah, I think that's me. Those are my couple of things I've been doing.
That sounds good though.
Yeah.
That's a cool project.
Yeah.
It isn't serious. It's not a serious project. It's
No,
just like
exactly.
a
It's just a learning.
Not
Just-
every project needs
just
to be
for fun.
serious.
Just for fun.
Mm.
You'll learn from it. It's not a problem. Doesn't matter what the project is. It's just doing something is better than nothing.
Exactly. I have been in a little bit of a rut the last couple of weeks of just so much work, and
That makes 3 of us then.
so I think lockdown's hitting everyone here in the UK pretty hard.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
yeah, not done many personal projects, not done a lot of exercise, just chilling.
Yeah, my weekly project of the desk organizer is still going. It's now
Oh.
2 weeks in, which was supposed to be a 1 week project.
How
I
close
did
are
model
you?
some stuff, but again, I gave it like a couple of days and went back to it. And I was like, I can do better. So, but I guess that's the point of a weekly project. In my mind, I was like, okay, we're going to design something and just pick something and design it, print it, you're done. That was it. But I've just not committed to that.
I think you should print each stage and just do it, and you're like, well, then next week I'm gonna improve it.
Yeah, that's it. The first
That's a good
the
idea.
first time you just like, this is how much time I had. I had about 20 minutes. This is how it turned out. And then the next week you have another 20 minutes. It'll be glorious.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super basic though. But I
Doesn't need
wanted
to
it
be
to be
anything
I
really
else.
mean,
simple.
how
It's just for
how
storing
complicated
pens
can they
and-
get?
Depends what you want in it.
You need a pen,
Yeah.
like a pen, post-it
Maybe
Well,
note
Note
I
slot.
wanted to put my phone in it, so to make it really hard to access my phone, so I couldn't use it. So I was kind of going around that idea of like purposely designing it to make it really hard to use, so that I can't distract myself. So I've kind of been going down that route. So you
That's so
put the
weird.
phone in it, and then
Try and design something that's hard to use.
So make it like
Yeah.
it like locks your phone in it while it's got a certain amount of pens in. And when you get a pen out to do your work, it like I don't know. I don't know. There's
The
like
problem is,
there's
Nick,
something
Nick,
there.
you're too good. You're too good. You're too good at designing
Yeah, I
things
guess
that
so.
work, not things that are hard to use.
Give this guy a challenge, right?
oh dear.
Shall I say what I've been doing then?
Why
Yeah,
not?
yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
While we're here.
Nothing to talk about for too long, but I've been continuing the 3D printer project. I'm nearly there. The Z and the Y axis I've designed. I've ordered parts for the frame, and I just have the bed and the X axis designed now, really. So, but I kind of want to build the frame, check it all lines up, so then like the next steps are definitely all good. But yeah, that's actually, I've been really enjoying doing that. Just my free time, just doing a bit after work and stuff. It's good fun. So I'm waiting on that. I've got some 2-meter long aluminium extrudes coming in the post somehow, and I need to find somewhere to put them. But that's for that project. So hopefully I might have a frame by next week. Who knows? But that's more or less it in terms of work stuff. I've had a relatively, in terms of like COVID social week, a lot of calls with friends and stuff. So it's been quite nice actually. Quite nice. Just have video calls and catch up with people that you haven't seen in a while.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Like us.
Feels like it's been
so
a while,
weird,
but
like how-
it's a shame I couldn't meet up with them in person. But I have to do a video call, so that's
Yeah.
what we did.
It's just like weird how a sunny weekend can suddenly make everything a bit better.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
the sun just makes everyone happy, doesn't it?
Yeah, I felt like I had a very good weekend this weekend. It was nice.
Can't go wrong with a bit of glorious weather.
No,
Exactly.
no.
It's rare in the UK, that's for sure. Raining
it-
all the time.
Yes, indeed. But enough about me. Shall we move on to our topic?
Yeah, we'll go on to our topic.
So
we
this
playing the jingle?
topic.
I say, where's the
No
jingle, Nick?
jingle.
Come on.
Week.
No
Topic
topic.
of
No
the
jingles, please.
We'll
This
get you.
topic.
We'll get you with the jingle one day.
You won't.
we
You
will.
won't.
We will.
I feel like both of you have more to say on this, as we are going to be talking about Instagram, how we feel about the state of Instagram is at the moment for designers. And the reason I say you two probably have more to say is I don't really upload on Instagram. I'm pretty terrible on Instagram. But you guys are actually doing relatively frequent posts, so
It goes in waves. Like
Well, that's more
there'll
often
be
than
like
me.
last week where I uploaded 3 things, and then a couple of months will go by. I don't know. I just kind of post stuff as I think it looks cool, and then I'll like do another couple of things, and they don't look very good. So I'm like, nah.
yeah.
It's mainly the things that I put on there are things that I do for fun. When you just gotta sketch something for like you're just chilling out, watching. You got a bit of How I Met Your Mother on in the background or something. You're just doing a bit of sketch.
Yeah,
That's when I do it.
that's good.
So it isn't.
That's
It's nothing serious. Nothing for projects. Just you just think, oh, today I'm gonna sketch my new lamp. So I did.
Yeah, see, for me, I just feel like it gets in the way of me out doing a project. If I'm really into a project or whatever I'm doing, I'm normally like scribbling in about 5 different books. I'm never doing anything neat, and like I'm like going from one thing to the next. And if I feel like, all right, I need to do an Instagram post, it just sort of interrupts that workflow, and I just never do it. I just never get around to doing it. Like, I might post something like at the end of a project, and then I like post a photo of like a few progress pictures or whatever, but I just feel like it gets in the way for me, to be honest with you.
See, I feel that you should just post the rubbish photos and the rubbish sketches of your project. You should just,
yeah, but that's what I mean.
like,
I don't
just
think
the
about it in the
process.
time.
It's just a good way to document that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you
I
do it on
think-
your blog or whatever.
That's I would speak like that as well. I just feel like it's just if I'm going to be putting it all on the blog anyway, I could just all put it in the blog. And anyone who's actually going to like potentially be an employer in the future, they'll be linked straight to my website, and they'll be able to see these things. The people who are more likely to like want to employ me or work with me will be looking at my website and be able to see everything in one place, rather than scrolling through my Instagram. And a lot of these things, but the main reason I don't post on it is because I never think about it. I'm always tuning into the project and then always just like, oh, I should have put that on Instagram, but I've already gone past that step now, or whatever. That's just sort of how it is.
I think Instagram's a good place to see other designers' work, though, just really quickly.
Yeah.
Because, like, I've seen, loads of different designers' work on Instagram. You just click on and have a look at their random stuff. But I've never clicked on any of their websites.
No,
So I think
you're not looking to employ them.
No, but I think it's a good way to get. It's a good way to get your name out.
I think it is
in general.
But like,
Build your
yeah,
brand
it
up
would
a
be
little.
for a
Not that I use it for that,
general name. But I just feel like it would take me more time than I feel like it'd be worth. Yeah, a lot of people would see my work, which would be really cool. But I feel like there's better uses of my time currently.
Yeah,
to
I
fill
think
out my website and that.
also with Instagram, like if you're trying to build up your brand, but I guess like in terms of people, like in lead generation, if you're trying to actually get clients from it, I'd say most of your clients probably aren't on Instagram in the first place.
Well, they'll be
Most of-
scrolling through
you've
randomly
got more
and
designers
find
on
you.
Instagram, right?
Yeah.
But I think like it's kind of a shame that I guess this is one of like the sub points of like the algorithm of Instagram penalizes you from posting the rough and dirty stuff, right? So obviously part of a project, you're just kind of coming up with ideas. All your sketches are really rough, and that's kind of the joy of coming out of ideas. Not everything looks pretty, and then as soon as you kind of post on Instagram, you get like even like the top designers when they post like a rough sketch, they get like a quarter of likes and comments from them posting something that took them 5 hours but wasn't even part of the project, but it looks really nice. And I think that's kind of what puts people off, because people want to see all the really nice flashy stuff, but then they're not interested in what the reality of design is compared to just the fun artistic side. 'Cause it's kind of more art, isn't it?
Yeah,
you
I
do like
think-
a nice
yeah,
render. It's a piece of art, I guess.
I think a lot of those likes and interactions with it are going to come from non-designers, the ones that see like the flashy stuff, because they're not going to like a 2-minute scribble on a post-it note, because they're like, oh, I could draw that, whatever. Whereas like
Exactly,
they don't
yeah.
think they could do these amazing sketches that take 5 hours, but you could if you had, I don't know, 10 hours.
Yeah, you can. It just takes a lot longer than people think.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I do think there again there's lots of positives to Instagram. Like I think if you're a student and if you're not working on a personal project, like you haven't set yourself any goals, obviously there's those good channels like Render Weekly and Color Weekly, and there's like the weekly design challenge, which is more like sketching challenges and just trying to get you to think outside the box of like how you can solve problems. These things are quite good in terms of if you do want to challenge yourself and try and design something. And I think with Render Weekly that obviously you're practicing your modeling and your rendering skills, then I think that your kind of critical thinking and problem solving sometimes just starts to go down the drain with Render Weekly, because you just kind of go, oh, I'd make something really pretty and I've got Keyshot or Blender, I can make it look insane, but then you've not actually done any research into the product you're designing in the first place, so it doesn't actually do the function that it's designed to do, but it looks good, right? So I guess
It's
there's
like-
that trade-off. Like,
It's like forcing the whole, like, you see like a concept design for a car, these absolutely insane like concept like supercars, and they're not feasible whatsoever, but they look awesome. and that's sort of what these sort of challenges are sort of making people do. I don't know if that's the intention or but like you're saying, that there's a lot of time and place for it, because that is very good for you just to be creative and just do it, just design something cool. But it's sort of, you hope that people aren't obsessed with it and then start designing everything and not thinking about how things would actually work, instead of just, this looks sick. So it's I think it's one of those things that could be potentially dangerous, but that is just an exercise of being creative, which is good, but the focus shouldn't be always on that, is the problem, I think.
So I think that probably... Sorry.
No.
I think a lot of students probably put their Render Weekly stuff on their portfolios as well. And I guess that's not what they should put on their portfolio, because you're not really solving a problem, right? You're just making something look good. So, and again, that is part of the process later on if you're trying to sell it to someone. But when you're actually coming up with the idea, then...
Yeah, there are some jobs which are just like pure design, and they just like come up with these crazy things, and they then pass that design off to some engineer somewhere who has an absolute nightmare trying to make it. Like, how the hell are we going to do this then? That does happen in some area, like bits of the industry, I think, but I don't think it's generally good practice, in my opinion. Like, the job of a designer is basically to give the engineer as little job as possible. Like, it's easy for the engineers, so you don't want to make it really hard for the engineers, and then, because if you do something crazy that they haven't really thought about how it's going to work, no doubt the engineer will come back being, we're going to have to change this, and this, and then you could potentially let down some clients because you had to completely change the feel of a product, potentially, which is not ideal.
I think I agree and disagree. So I feel like, yes, you 100% need to kind of understand how things are made. But then I also think that when you're kind of coming out of ideas, that it pays to kind of break the boundaries a little bit, and you might come out with some more ideas, and also it might push some of the engineers to be like, okay, no, we have to do it like this. How are we going to do it? And then he might come back like, we can do it if we have a mold that costs like $1 million.
Exactly, yeah. That's the thing. But I'm not saying people shouldn't be creative, they should only do things that can work, but doing these sort of weekly projects where you're doing something that's that much of a concept design, and then you're doing a full render for it, and like you said, then people are putting it on their portfolios, there is like, the side of it was like, well, have you thought about this? Is it even remotely feasible? And they're all things that like are very important with it. But obviously, like a designer being as creative as possible is very good, but they need to have these other sides of it in mind. Otherwise, it's all useless.
Yeah, I think the Color Weekly is pretty good though, because basically their thing is they give a random color, like a hex code, and you just got to render anything in that color. And I've only done it once, I think, because I wanted to do some more renders for my angle poised lamp project. And then it just happened to be that the colour was green, and I was like, I was just going to do a green anyway. It was some funky green. It wasn't just called green, but so I did a few renders using that colour, and I think it turned out pretty well. So I think that one's fine, because you're not making something specific for it. You're just using their colour, and what's the harm in that? It gets your design out there. It gets other people to view it. You can see other people's cool stuff in the same colour, why not?
Yeah, no, Colour Weekly's cool. I've not actually...
solid fan.
I don't think I've ever really participated in Colour Weekly, to be honest. I feel like I should, because as you said, you can just be working on your own project.
Yeah, just anything.
And I do feel like people should be working on their own projects rather than being told what to do, like, because it's your free time at the end of the day, right? I suppose if you enjoy it, and I guess it does help build up your Instagram presence by getting your name out there, but at the same time, I feel like you probably should be working on something you enjoy, right? As you said, you're doing your 3D printer, like that's a great like personal project, something you're really passionate about. Or so you could be doing that, or you could be doing the latest Render Weekly project, which you're going to learn so much from doing this, or you can I like, as there's still pros, I guess you can practice your rendering, but at the same time, you can kind of do that whenever, I suppose, in a weird way.
One pro is it is somewhat broadening in theory, it's broadening people's sort of like thoughts of products that they would never normally design.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is kind of nice.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I agree with what you said.
I think it was slightly better this time, Render Weekly, because it said like the next 8 things that were coming up or something. So it gave people, or maybe even 16.
They do it in seasons, don't they?
Yeah, so it says like in 3 weeks' time there's going to be this. So then you've got 3 weeks to think of like a decent design for one of them. Like that's the only time I was ever going to do it. Well, again, there was a lamp, so I did my lamp. But like, there was one where it was 8 weeks away, and I was like, oh, well, I could probably do that, and I just forgot about it. But like that's probably something that's actually quite good. Whereas if it's a few weeks away, you can actually come up with a decent design, decent renders, and it's all good.
Yeah, and just sort of jump in on the ones that are more interesting to you.
Because if you only have a week, like you can't really get an intricate design. It just has to.
No, I guess not.
Look like, I don't know, like a toaster or something.
Kind of looks like an iron, I guess.
But I'm not a fan of the one this week or last week or whatever it was. My Instagram feed is just full of chairs. Excuse me.
Miller chair, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just like this chair which every single person has rendered the same chair, and they all look the same. I don't understand. I mean, obviously they're getting sponsored, so take the moolah. But
I'd get sponsored by them, to be fair.
Yeah, I'd happily get sponsored by them.
That's what I'm saying. Take the moolah.
Maybe one day.
I think also they've posted like 2 or 3 times the amount that they normally post to, or maybe I just scroll past them, but I don't know. But I just keep noticing
some,
that chair.
Interesting renders for those chairs, but again, like nothing really groundbreaking, to be honest. So I guess, as you said, it is just the same chair rendered in a slightly different way.
There's a guy that took the chair apart and made it like a video game controller.
Oh, that's cool.
Like he moved all the parts. Yeah, like that's the only one that I've seen that's like, oh, that's different. Oh no, there was actually a cool one. There was one where the guy made it massive, and like it was lost in the jungle kind of thing. So it had like load of grass over it and stuff. Like some people have done some cool stuff, and then some people have like, I'll put it in front of a desk. That's where chairs.
Crazy. Oh dear, that's hilarious. I suppose that's where it belongs. I suppose it doesn't belong in the jungle.
It's true. They're never going to use the jungle one on like their website, but I don't know. I think if I was hiring somebody, like I don't know whether they're doing this to see if they want to hire somebody, but I'd definitely hire the guy that did the jungle one or the guy that made the controller. They get more creativity.
Think outside the box a little bit more.
Exactly.
It's a computer. It's a desk chair, so I guess I'll put it by a desk. He's like, oh, put it in the jungle, mate.
Well, it's one of those things. You see loads of brands that when they're doing their advertising for whatever product, they have the product in a completely different environment because it's like a different feel or whatever. Like that is a very feasible thing. Whether it is exactly feasible for a desk chair that they could do some sort of campaign based around it, I don't know. I don't do that. But it's more creative.
It's interesting you say that because for some reason stoves seem to have loads of photography on the beach.
Just like completely.
That's always a common one, which is interesting.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know if any companies have done desk chairs in woods, but like it's one of those things they do like in deserts or under a waterfall. I don't know, like some really weird places. But if it stands out, then you'll remember the product.
Yep.
So yeah.
I know there's been like a couple newer pages, like a few prototype Instagram channels where they encourage you to actually post your mock-ups and your early prototypes and things like that. I think
that's pretty cool.
I would like to do some of them when I have some more free time, like because there's some of the non 3D printing prototype techniques I would actually really like to work on, like cardboard and foam sculpting. I am
card modeling, to be honest.
Actually trash at both of them, so I'd quite like to to learn those. So maybe that's one of the sort of challenges I could do and get me onto the old Instagram. Because I'm weak. My Instagram game is weak right now.
Yeah, I mean...
You've got like 4 posts, Sarah.
Yeah, I've got about 4. I've only been designing in like more years than that. That's fine.
Not even 1 a year. That's weak.
I feel like I'm the same as you, Andy. I get like really into Instagram. I'm like, okay, I'm going to be posting all the time now. I was like, what am I going to post? I post sketches, and then I get into it for like 2 weeks, and suddenly I fall off for like half a year. Then just end up posting like one like a month or something like that instead.
You actually do like all the stories and everything, Nick.
Yeah,
I try when I'm just like out and about and just like take photo of my coffee, insert coffee here. Oh, I'm making another coffee. Oh, yep, that's my day. Third coffee of the day yet.
I mean, there's no bad press, right? There's much online as possible.
Exeter's 2015 best coffee. That's
best coffee of the year.
That's my jam.
2015. Yep.
Mentioning it every single time till we get sponsored.
Every time.
Yeah. I can't wait to get back there.
What else was on the agenda?
That I guess like talking about. That's the thing, like, I still love Instagram, personally. I still really like trying to get involved in it. And I think, for me, it's more of just trying to build up my sketching skills. It's one of the skills that I want to get really good at, right? I really want to get good at sketching. And obviously, everyone tells you to get better at sketching, you need to sketch every day, right? It's as simple as that. And like, actual dedicated practice, not just kind of pointlessly sketching. You need to actually apply and try and take in what you're doing. So I was like, okay, I'm going to try and get better at sketching. Sketching is like the easiest thing to post, right? But then it becomes such a commitment. It's like, okay, for me to actually gain any kind of following on Instagram, I need to post every day. And suddenly it's like a full-on, full-time commitment of trying to get something that you like posted every day. And then you start getting like anxiety about what you're posting a little bit more because you're trying to actually trying to gain a following, right? And it's just the stress of Instagram gets to you and just end up going, okay, that's when you end up falling off for like 3 months just because it's so.
It's the Instagram algorithm that's the problem. You got to post loads of pictures. You got to do like at least like 4 a week to stay relevant. Whereas like it's
hard,
easy for others.
How are you going to get that many good quality things when you're like working at a normal pace? Unless you've got a massive backlog of things, it's so hard whilst you're doing other stuff to then get like enough good quality things to post like you say 4 times a week. That's so hard. So
to be fair though, my last couple got the most like views, interactions, whatever the hell it's called. I don't know what impressions. That's it. Than any of my other ones. So I don't know why. They're the same as the others. There's different products.
Apparently, Instagram love and you've got to try and push the save it later, and that's what is driving the algorithm the most at the moment. That's why loads of people are doing these like 10-page things to try and get you to
that's
save
why,
it.
Because it had more saves.
That's why. Yeah,
it had more saves than my other ones. Maybe that was why.
What is this save it for later then?
It's like the bottom right. There's like a little square with a couple of triangles on the bottom, like a ribbon.
Oh, the like flag thing.
Yeah,
you basically put it in a folder so you can view it another time. Essentially, you try and make content
so I've used it a couple
you can
of
kind
times.
of refer back to, and then actually go like, oh, this is interesting. I've learned something here, but if I need to remember, I can view it again.
I did wonder why the scrolls did well.
Yeah,
just all watches in my saved. Yeah.
I thought it was done by like view time or something, like somebody spent 30 seconds on it, but I didn't know. I just guessed.
It could be that. That could also be a factor.
Maybe it's part of it as well. I don't know. I'm making it up at this point.
but I would say that a lot of the designers that I really like, I've come across them from Instagram. Like I wouldn't have never heard of them if I didn't actually get involved or didn't follow other designers on Instagram.
Yeah, and I definitely use it.
Yeah,
I use it. I do like it, and and you see a load of people's really good work, but It's just hard because like they're at the stage where they can post whatever the hell they like now. The bigger Instagram people, and they can post whatever they want, and they're still gonna get like people following them.
Yeah.
Whereas it's so hard, like because obviously if you look back, I bet their work back then, in terms of compared to everyone else, quality of work was better. That's how they got really big. But now it's just I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you stand out now and post 4 times a week. It's crazy.
Because you got those digital sketches, like the digital renders, like some of them are insane, aren't they?
Yeah,
So,
some
wow.
people are
Yeah,
very,
watch the
very
time
good at
lapse
them.
and they
And
do
they
it
just
in like
take too long.
5 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not that. I'm not that at all. But
I know maybe a good transition here, but Nick Baker, he got really big because he started doing loads of chair sketches every day. And like that's how he got quite popular, because his sketches were really good.
I liked chairs a couple of years ago. He did like weird ones like a waterbed chair and stuff like that. It's pretty interesting.
He then did the DIY chair challenge as well, which helped a lot for him.
That's a cool chair. The
it's
fat
a cool
strap.
idea.
Yeah.
And I think like his kind of design style was also quite like he's got the elastic clock, right, which you can put over anything, which I know you love, Harry. So if you've got like a plant pot, you could put it over your plant pot, and it's now a plant
Why not?
pot.
Why not just put it in the middle of your computer screen? Why not? Great idea.
So one of his designs that I do like, he has like this spinning top that's a bottle opener. I know it's really simple,
I really
but
like
that's
that's
a glorious design.
Because he came up with that based on he gave himself a constraint to design something using only the revolve tool. I'm pretty sure. I think that was his constraint he gave himself, and then he came up. Well, a spinning top was a pretty obvious thing to design with a revolve tool, but but I just love it. I really want one. I will get one.
I didn't know the full story, but they're expensive.
It's on his website, I think.
Yeah, he got it locally made in New York as well, didn't he? And apparently there's loads of factories, well, people that he visited that just didn't give him the finish and the quality that he wanted, and they're just like, no, this is the best we can do. Is like, well, gonna have to go elsewhere then. Fine. I think he's like quite when it comes to the details, I think that's
good.
He's
a good
quite
way
on
to be,
it, which is really good.
Yeah, that makes that's the difference between a good designer. Yeah,
Definitely.
The details, isn't it? Yeah. One thing that he does that I am very impressed by, and one day I'm sure I'll give it a go, is his VR modeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That he's the only guy I've been seeing like doing it like he does.
Well,
he models everything in it. He does it very well, and he does like every design he seems to put in VR. But he's so good at it. It's so quick, which is really really cool. And
I feel like he could actually use that in his job now.
Yeah, I think
he's so good, right?
I mean, like, I think right now the tools probably aren't best for it, but in a few years, the tools only get better and better and better to draw in 3D. It's going to be so good. It's going to be so cool.
Yeah.
It's actually weird.
I'm looking forward to.
It's actually weird that you said that, because I follow a it's an Instagram account called Worldwide Engineering, and they actually posted today about Nick Baker drawing in and modelling in 3D. Yeah.
It's actually
really, really strange, yeah. But that's just him doing a chair, and it's just so quick.
Things I think you can't there's not dimensions to it, so it's pretty much like using Rhino,
isn't it?
Or it's like Rhino 3D modeling, and you're just guessing sizes and angles. But I'm sure in the future it'll actually get accurate and
I say the speed that you do it is. Oh, he does it. I don't think I could.
Yeah, I mean, I can't do it at that speed.
Because you look at the time lapse of him doing it, he creates one design really quickly, then he copies it and then changes it, and
suddenly
he's got 15, 16 designs.
He iterates it 20 times in a 2-minute video. You're like, what the hell? This is a whole design process in VR. Really cool, really really cool.
Yeah, that's cool. It's weird you say that, because I was actually thinking about is it worth buying a VR headset to try out that sketching?
The new generation VR, whatever is it Oculus? Whatever the new one.
The Oculus Quest is the wireless one that I would consider. Yeah.
Quest, because it's self-contained. There's like no cables. You don't have to like plug it in. It's so good. My brother's girlfriend has one, and it's so cool.
Have you tried it?
Yeah. I've done like Beat Saber and stuff on it.
Yeah, the classic ones. Yeah.
It's very cool. Like,
do you play the Star Wars game?
I haven't played the Star Wars game. No.
Is that Darth Vader? It's just massive. You just say like, whoa. Okay.
No, I definitely recommend that VR thing. So that's probably what I'll end up getting. Because rather than having to set up all these sensors in the room and all sorts, just having it all self-contained is really, really good.
Yeah, it's really good, definitely.
Just do that, and maybe do some 3D modelling in there would be very fun. Very fun.
I guess you have to buy the software, because I know there is a drawing one on there, but I don't know if it's the one that he uses.
I have no idea what software it is or anything.
Because I've done one where I've made like a snowman, and like I was around my friends, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, Nick, draw something. This is what you do for a job." I was like, "Yeah, but not VR." Like,
it's a bit different,
what do you expect from me here? And they're all just watching me on the main telly while I'm just drawing stuff. I was like,
you're just making 3 circles, like, yeah.
Oh dear, that's funny. I'd end up there was like a default snowman, so I just made a snowman and put some stuff on it, drew some stuff around it.
Yeah, I think it'll be very, very hard.
Oh, it'll be a learning curve for sure.
But he definitely feels like he's way ahead of the curve in that. He's just he's smashing that, which is really cool.
I know. I think it's such his setup. He said it was really hard to actually sort out, because obviously he's got the camera of him just drawing with the actual sketch coming out in real time.
Oh, he's like overlaid it, hasn't he?
Yeah. So he said that was like quite irritating to set up. I don't know, but it's a good setup, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I bet you need to get the right like camera angle to like line it up properly.
I didn't even think about that.
It's really cool. Really cool.
I know, obviously, his chair sketches. Again, I don't know much about this topic, so I know you guys know a lot more about cryptocurrency than me. But he's now selling his 100 chair sketques for Ethereum. There we go. Not Ethiopia.
Not quite.
But it's for one.
Not worth that much yet.
Like, I think you like bid on it, but right now there's 2, and both of them are going for 1 Ethereum, which is like $1,300 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's insane.
Which is mad. I mean, it could be 0 tomorrow, but it's $1,300 currently, which is madness. I mean, I don't know whether these are like bots that have actually bought them, because they don't actually have pictures. Or I don't know whether it's like, because I don't know whether I clicked on it too early and it's just a random bot that's waiting for somebody to bid on it or not. But that's a lot of money.
It is.
But yeah.
So this is something that's become more and more popular recently in the crypto space, which is an NFT, which is a non-fungible token. And I guess you probably want me to explain what that is, don't you?
In simple terms.
At this point.
Okay.
You don't have to get technical.
I'll explain what it means by non-fungible token, and then just say how that affects stuff for design, right?
Go for it.
Does that sound good?
Sounds like a plan to me.
Yeah, good plan.
Okay, so like in terms of you got assets, like just any sort of asset, there's sort of 4 types. There's fungible and non-fungible, and then there's physical and digital, or both. So an example of physical fungible asset is money, and the definition of fungible is what's the actual definition of fungible? Basically, if you have, I'll give you an example of it. If you lent me £20, a £20 note, and I paid it back to you in 4 £5 notes, it is the exact same value in every way. And there's all different money. You can sort of chop and change it in whatever way, as long as the total adds up to 20, you're fine with it, because they're basically, it's the exact identical thing.
Mm-hmm.
If it was pennies, I'd probably have an issue. But
I mean, yeah, you could be petty, Nick, but generally it's fine, right? So it means the exact same thing. If I gave it to you in 20,000 1p's, then you'd still be fine with it, right? You will be, Nick.
You will be. This is how.
And then a digital version is, for example, Bitcoin. So you've got an actual value for Bitcoin. You can trade any Bitcoin whatsoever. They're all worth the exact same amount. They're all identical. And they have a certain value. So you could then trade. If I borrowed one Bitcoin from you, I could give you another Bitcoin back. And they're the exact same thing. That means they're fungible. You can they're like identical. You can sort of change it and interchange it with a different of the same thing. And it doesn't make a difference. When you talk about something that's non-fungible, it doesn't quite work like that. So an example for something that's non-fungible might be my car. I lend you my car, and you have a great time with it. But then you then give me back a different car. It doesn't quite work like that, right? Even if you gave me back the same model, but it isn't the same car, the car's values will be different because, for example, my car might have more mileage, might have more scratches, whatever. And the exact same thing happens with like diamond rings. They're not the same thing because a diamond can have different value based on the cut of the diamond, the condition of everything to do with it, right? So that means it's non-fungible. It is not exchangeable for another thing of the same thing. They're like unique. Another example is paintings. The reason I say paintings because that goes on to non-fungible digital assets. And that is things that could be something like a copyright, a patent, something like that. Like you can't just give me a different copyright and expect it to do the exact same thing. You're not. You can't exchange it in the same way. And one example of a digital non-fungible asset is an NFT, which is a non-fungible token. And this is a digital, non-fungible asset in the cryptocurrency space, right? So what it is it's one of those assets. Effort. Oh god, I'm so sorry. Lucky this isn't a crypto podcast, right? So you have this type of asset, and the reason it's different is because it's actually going to be stored on the blockchain. What's the blockchain, you may ask? So the blockchain is basically just a database that's across all networks, or however many networks, that is ensured that it is, well, first of all, it's decentralized. So there's no like company or anything running it. It's unlinked to other things. And it's a database that makes sure it's constantly up to date with real-time data. So it's always refreshing, checking everything's up to date. And this basically means that like nothing sort of goes missing in it. Like transactions happen instantly or things like that over the blockchain, right? This is a very layman's example of what the blockchain is, okay? Please, people, don't come after me after this. But an NFT is stored on the blockchain. And the reason that this is actually good is because, for example, if you have some digital art, which is in the case that we'll be talking about in terms of how it affects design and artists, you can make some digital art and sell it as an NFT for Ethereum, for example. This is what he's doing. And the upside to this is with the blockchain, there will be there'll be the ability to verify the authenticity and trace the original owner of this piece of work. So these two things, you can't escape these on the blockchain. If it's on there, all the transaction histories will be listed. You'll know who's owned it and everything. So this then cuts out all the possibility for people trying to forge it or whatever, because you'll then be like, well, no, this one was owned by the creator of it. So you'll be able to trace it all back like that. Because it's all decentralized, all trades, there'll be a lot less sort of fees and sort of transaction fees to do with you might have an auction house or whatever that take 30% cut or whatever the price is, all things like that will go down. So I guess that's an upside. And as well, you can't really get scammed. Once the transaction goes through, you wouldn't be able to revoke the transaction. It's always going to be It's yours. If you own it, it's
You now
yours.
own it. Yeah.
So this is sort of something that I think could be quite a big thing in the future, if it isn't just a thing that people are like now and then it disappears. But things like this just mean, so like there could be, in the future they might even have like full designs or like patents and stuff be on there, and then one person owns this patent and you wouldn't be able to debate that at all. Things like that, or just generally artwork, so you can have like whatever the future, what's an artist? Picasso. Imagine he does that in digital art, then his work, everyone will know where that work is. You won't get any of these missing pieces of art or anything like this. This is the theory behind it. But this is what a load of people are sort of doing, and it's got a lot more traction lately with all the cryptos going crazy and skyrocketing in price. But it's interesting anyway. I don't necessarily know how much it is, like how much of it's going to stay around and stuff, or if anything, how relevant it will be. But it's basically you'll be owning like the original piece of this digital art, or whatever it is. Let's say it could be copyright, it could be something like that.
So obviously he has 2 pieces of art on there currently. Can multiple people own it, but then it's not the original, or is it only one person can own it and then they choose to sell it?
From what I understand, one person owns it, that's the original. Anything else made will just be a copy from that, and it will never be claimed to be the original piece. It's obviously going to be hard with digital stuff, because you can just like copy a file or whatever. So obviously I don't really know, I haven't really looked too much into that sort of stuff, but you will be the rightful owner, and then I assume royalties could be paid to you and stuff like that, and you're like, no one could debate that you don't have the original, right. And things like that. It's a very deep topic, and I only know top level sort of thing, but
yeah, it's a very random thing to do though, isn't it? Like,
it's definitely just riding the hype of all these things that have been going on. So, but it could potentially be quite big in the design space in terms of whose design is this, like who owns it, who came up with it. Like you could put something in the blockchain, they know the actual like millisecond that it was up there, and
you can see the history of it. No
one can debate that at all.
Yeah.
So
this is really interesting. Really interesting.
I mean, didn't know any of that.
Yeah.
Well,
no, I didn't. So.
I'm not confessing to be any sort of crypto expert. So there could have been some errors in that, but that's the general idea, yeah.
And then we had on Instagram, Sketch a Day, one of your favourites, Nick.
Yeah.
Had a solid dig. He put up a picture of a car, like a sketch of a car, and he said, "I'm selling this for like 50,000 Doge coins or whatever." I just can't remember the number, but
yeah.
Selling it for the meme crypto,
Why not, mate?
Yeah.
Why not? It's going to the moon, I've heard.
I've heard similar. Lots of rocket emojis. A lot of Elon Musk tweets. But yeah, so that was just something funny. He loves a good dig.
Yeah. Instagram feud. But yeah, I mean, it does sound really interesting, and I think it's really. It's good that you can see kind of who's owned it and when people owned it. So you, as you said, you can't kind of you can't argue about who's actually owned it.
It's because that's one thing for art that's like huge, and you get so many like people trying to forge stuff. Again, it's sort of hard to sort of tell what's going to happen in terms of like I don't know what happens after that. Obviously, if you've got the original, that's fine. But then if you make a copy, is that then linked to the blockchain or whatever? I don't know. I haven't researched it. I'm not planning to get into NFTs recently, anytime soon even. But it could be really good just in terms of that sort of stuff, all the legal side of stuff, who owns what, when was this created, anything like that. I could potentially see it having a big place in the sort of design space, because you could have full designs, you can have 3D models, you could have the new iPhone designs a NFT and guy at Apple owns it or whatever. I don't know.
That's cool.
Is that possible? Who knows? Could be in a few years.
Possibly.
then the owner can basically do whatever they want. The owner can advertise it and can, without worrying about kind of the creator saying, "Oh, that's my work," or
yeah,
they now own the asset, kind of thing.
Because that is a huge debate in just in anything creative, right? Who came up with what?
Yeah.
Who owns this? Who gets the money for it?
There's potential.
Yeah.
Could be. Could be.
Really interesting.
It's only early days yet, though. Crypto's young as it is, so.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, any other thoughts?
Any other Instagram thoughts? No, I don't know. I don't.
No, I think.
But I also said I didn't have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, well, I think we've kind of covered everything on my list anyway. So,
yeah.
I mean, we could talk probably more about it, but I think then it just goes into us rambling about stuff, doesn't it?
Not that we ever ramble.
Outro jingle,
we never
Nick?
ramble.
Outro jingle?
Not yet. There's no outro jingle yet.
No,
there will be.
Not even in the works?
Maybe that's on the weekly project.
That's on the weekly project.
Outro jingle.
Whack that on the list.
Yes.
All right, well, thank you very much for listening. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and we'll be back with another episode next week.
See you later.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.